Welcome to the doghouse!
What's happening? Time for another in-depth look at a robo of my choosing, but this isn't the next review I had planned. I've sort of put that on the back burner because I've certainly got very much more to say about Power Battler Crosshairs. It's been a whole year since Age of Extinction, and it really didn't feel like it took half of that time for people to forget about it. Remember when people were mad hyped about all the new movie toys? And then all we got was the cheapo tat. I was certainly in with general consensus that those figures belonged in only one place. But in the intervening 12 months, I think I've come to change my field of view and think maybe I'll end up with you. There's no doubt I've had some much sexier figures in the past few weeks, but none of them have got me thinking as much as this nose nugget here. So join me now as we venture on the road of me trying to understand why I like this thing, because I just can't put my finger on it. Herein lies the rub. I'm doing this review without even fully understanding what it is I like about this thing, because I do like it. First off, why do I even own the thing? I guess it came down to a feeling I had a few weeks ago where I just wanted something fun and cheap, and I was just very aware that all of these were going cheap like everywhere. And when you can sort of throw the same amount of money for something like this, which is deluxe sized, that the new Legion figures are going for, it just kind of felt like, yeah, that kind of feels good. There's an appeal to that. For £6 or £7, it's worth a laugh. Couple that with the fact I realised I didn't have a figure of Crosshairs from the film. Didn't want the Generations one because I've already got Hot Shot, and I couldn't find the One Step One, which is just like Lockdown, so there's not much point in me getting that anyway. So I set down the warpath of getting my hands on this guy. It was almost a sort of primal thing. I just looked at all the other ones and for some reason judged this guy as the best of the bunch, as something actually worth going out of my way to get. But why? There's recently been some discussion around the community about like frames of reference when it comes to criticising things. What makes arguments made for certain types of figures more valid than other ones? So that naturally brings up the whole everything Hasbro does these days is rubbish argument. And I think you might not be really expecting this, or it may not be the best thing to use as a counterpoint, but I think I can use Crosshairs here to form some sort of rebuttal to that. Because let's face it, we as collectors are spoiled these days. We are indulged, let alone all the stuff that Hasbro and Takara are currently doing to glean every single penny off of you for Combiner Wars. There's 1,000,001 third parties constantly jostling for that middle-aged, middle-class disposable income dollar. We live in a world where us as collectors have loads of stuff made for us that isn't for kids. We fill a business demographic that didn't exist 10 years ago. Until the advent of classics, that first line that was made to pander to kids of the 80s, there was very, very, very few like properly collector-orientated stuff out there. They were just toys for kids that adults bought and appreciated from their more mature standpoint, whatever that means. And through that, every now and then, you'd find a genuine gem, a hidden treasure that would be hailed as some excellent figure. Fast forward to 2015, and the collector side of Hasbro's efforts is firmly established as a cash cow, and everyone expects everything they put out to be that top-tier, diamond-in-the-rough kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is, back in the day, to find a genuine gem of a figure, you had to sift through the dirt. These days we're blinded to the simple joys and the hidden treasures of all the stuff that's in the kids' lines, because we just look at it and think that it's beneath us, that it's subpar, that it sucks. Because we have this smorgasbord of delights from Generations to Masterpiece to gorge ourselves on as mature collectors, that we just instantly gaze upon the stuff like this and put it straight into the pit of disdain. Because we have this array of product that is packaged for us as adult collectors, everything that is just sort of below that, you know, this kind of AOE stuff, the RID stuff. I think some people even look at some of the Combiner Wars and think of it in this way. It just objectively goes straight in the trash and no one gives it a second thought. Almost like simply by the virtue of what these things are, they are awful. But they're not. It's just Hasbro doing what they've always done. It's just that in the past few years they've pulled out all the stops on so many figures that all those anomalous peaks in quality begin to look like the average, and they push everything that is genuinely average straight down there. So what's this got to do with Crosshairs? He's certainly a dooftacular thing, and not in the cool Mad Max flamethrower guitar guy kind of way. He sucks, or at least people genuinely assume he does. Here I am, very happy with my purchase. Because he's a Transformers toy as a toy. He's not trying to be some high-end pose and display spatial awareness test that costs the earth. He's just a silly, transforming, Masters of the Universe style gimmick guy. And he reminds me of the days where there wasn't this divide between toys for children and toys for man-children. He speaks to my inner 8-year-old and kind of represents why I'm in this game, to find bots that hit me in my childhood like that. Things I would have liked when I was younger, things I would have feasibly expected to exist and be able to buy with a few weeks worth of pocket money when I was younger. Make no mistake, this isn't as good as what I had when I was younger, but Crosshairs just takes me back there somehow. To the days when gimmicks would properly hamstring a toy, but you'd have fun with it anyway. So, let's get down to an actual look at this thing. Because the gimmick in question is actually a right laugh. Pull on his arm that looks vaguely like an arm, and the other one flies out to clobber anything in its way, and if you don't get it stuck, it's pretty beefy. This feels good, man. Yes, it comes at the expense of having a properly realised robot mode, but who gives them monkeys? Movie bots are soft and not fully realised and even higher spec figures, so it honestly doesn't bother me. You can flip out an actual hand from this comedy boxing glove, which has a 5mm hole, so, you know, if you like, you can give him baby seal clubbing action. Honestly, this is hilarious. I love it. Punch, hold, slide, repeat. Yes, it means I cut out any articulation anywhere else for stability's sake. I mean, his legs are pretty much static unless you want it to look even more like he has some kind of congenital disease. But I find myself nonplussed by this. I should be raving. I should be shouting from the rooftops about the lack of joints in this, which just need to be there, and I expect them to be there as some kind of human right. But it's okay. He looks alright stood there, and he's really easy to stand because you just have to plonk him somewhere and he stays, because nothing moves. As the rest of this mode, detail's alright in it. I mean, there's quite a bit of it, and whether or not any of it's accurate, I've got no idea. But, you know, he's almost got a coat. That's enough, right? He's got some decent paint on the go, shiny solar plexus, and actually a pretty good little noggin. So, are you getting the message yet? I'm okay with this. Here's where we get to the good stuff. Transformation is nice and quick and easy and satisfying. All these things just mean you look at it and you want to change it over. No matter what mode it's in, just sat there, you want to pick it up and you want to switch it around. And honestly, how many figures these days elicit that kind of thing in anyone anymore? I mean, yeah, all the combinable stuff and all that, it's good. It's good to change, it's fun and all that, but this is, you know, something that's just made to change. It's like this thing exists to satisfy two gimmicks. One of them is punching things, the other one is turning into a car. It's like when Johnny 5-year-old is going to pick this up and evaluate it as a toy that he might like. He's going to look at it and not see what all of us see, and that something transforming is not a gimmick and that's just what Transformers do. He's going to see it as the fact that it's a robot that does that punchy thing, but it also turns into a car. And isn't that good? The car mode you get, well, just look at it. This is properly nice, and considering what the bot mode looked like, it's pretty impressive that that thing turns into this cutie of a Corvette. It's got all the trimmings you need, all the decals and stuff, and all the lights, and a nice badge up the top. What more do you really want from a mode like this? I actually love this. It's just a shiny green car with a deluxe size quota. What more do you need? So to come to some kind of conclusion on this thing, I like it. I like it a lot. The bot mode's so bad, it's good. The gimmick is comedy central, and the alt mode's a babe. And it cost me under a tenner. Obviously, if you do see these things for full price, don't even think about it. But for the price of an old Scout, I feel like I spent my pennies wisely. This is the kind of desk toy that I just can't put down because of its inherent simplicity. I find myself just picking it up and fiddling with it more than any of the other stuff I've had recently, to be honest. I guess the crux of this whole kids' bots are rubbish and 3p is king argument is that myself, I don't want greatness. Whatever that is, just hand it to me straight up on a silver platter. I want to be able to get down in the muck and rake up some diamonds and get the feeling of being genuinely, unexpectedly surprised while I do so. So I'd say Crosshairs isn't the sort of figure that belongs in the doghouse, because he's not trying to be anything more than meets the eye. What you see is what you get, and after fully accepting every single bad point of this figure, before I went into it, I honestly can say I'm not disappointed in the least. I expected nothing from you, Crosshairs, and you delivered something so I'm happy. Good lad. Laters.
You got to be a professional.